Tonight on CFTK-TV News, rising grocery prices squeeze rural wallets, big changes coming to the federal budget schedule, and BC's top junior hockey league reveals where their roadshow is headed.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. I'm Jaylene Mathews. Rising grocery prices continue to squeeze wallets across the country, and rural and northern region communities continue to pay more due to fuel, freight, and supply chain costs. The latest numbers from Statistics Canada show grocery prices have risen about 3.5% over recent years. CFTK-TV's Helen Asante has more.
The Consumer Price Index shows food inflation peaked at more than 10% in 2022 and 2023 before easing this year. Speaking to a local shop owner, Terry shares with us products in her shop that has seen the biggest price increase.
I would say lately probably meat. Yeah, fresh meat would be the biggest increase, but everything. Produce is still going up, even though, usually you see in the summertime it usually doesn't. It's still going up. Grocery items have never come down since COVID, never, and I don't think they ever will. And then, of course, with tariffs and things like that, that increased it even more, which has, made it a little bit scary. But I would say fresh meat has taken the biggest hit recently. Yeah.
While big chains like Walmart's may offer sales and price rollbacks to attract shoppers, small shops like Terry's can't keep up.
We don't have the volume. So we're not selling the volume like a larger box store. We don't have the competitive pricing maybe necessarily that Save-On and Walmart's and Safeway will have. We do our very best to try to be as competitive as we can. If something has taken too much of a hit, we'll take the hit first. But like I said, we've been lucky. We have a really good following, so we've been good. We've been holding our own really well.
From milk and bread to fresh produce, affordability remains a growing issue, especially for families and seniors living on fixed income. Asking in small towns like Terry's gets hit harder due to inflation, Terry says.
Do I think some other smaller communities might? Yeah, they might get hit harder depending on what they can carry and what they can provide. For us, our biggest thing is pricing. Keeping our pricing as low as we can to be able to, provide our staff with decent incomes and still provide our customers with a fair competitive pricing.
She confirms transportation and fuel price increase does affect pricing of some products.
It's a huge aspect. Every time a trucking company is forced to increase their prices due to wages or carbon taxes or fuel surcharges, that sort of thing. Yeah, it has to go somewhere. So that unfortunately gets passed on to the consumer.
For now, families in Terry's are learning to stretch their dollar a little further, hoping the next shipment brings not just fresh produce, but some price relief too. CFTK-TV News, Helen Asante.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says BC's opposition to a proposed bitumen pipeline to the North Coast is un-Canadian and unconstitutional. Smith posted to social media that BC Premier David Eby's vocal opposition to the Alberta-backed pipeline is akin to demonizing an industry that has generated wealth in both provinces. BC Energy Minister Adrian Dix responded to Smith's comments, calling Alberta's pipeline plans a political proposal. Dix says being Canadian isn't contingent on agreeing with Smith's position, adding that BC will support projects with what he describes as proven industry proponents. BC's top junior hockey league is heading on the road and coming to the Northwest. CFTK-TV's Kel Maslin explains.
The province of BC's top junior hockey league recently announced where a major event that they put on is set to be located in 2026. As part of a partnership with the Lake Babine Nation, the BCHL is bringing their roadshow event back to Birds Lake next year. Lake Babine Nation elected Chief Wilfred Adam has publicly expressed his excitement at this announcement.
It's wonderful, just to have this kind of talent in the community and especially for the young people. We like to get as many young people to the arena, and for the players, the junior players, to go to the schools and talk to the young people, and that just makes my day.
The event will feature a pair of regular season games between the Coquitlam Express and the Prince George Spruce Kings being played at the Tom Forsyth Arena. Some of the league's staff and players will also visit schools and community events during their time there, and the Lake Babine Nation will act as host of a traditional feast as well. This isn't the first time that the BCHL Roadshow will be run in Burns Lake, as it was held in the community in 2023. Adam then discussed how the event went and mentioned that it could have come to Burns Lake even sooner than it did.
It went really good. We could have had it when we first started, but that's when we had those big fires in Burns Lake. And after that, COVID hit, and the elections happened, and new people in, and finally on 2023, Murphy, actually, he was chief then. I brought him on 2016. He was our youth coordinator at that time. And he got it to happen, get the players to come in and, just like I said, mingle with the community, stressing the play with the young people, and just putting seeds into young people's mind that, this is achievable, and you can not just stop here, this, and go to the NHL if need be.
Adam also believes that the biggest benefit to this show coming to Burns Lake is the way that it can influence the local youth and show them that achieving their dreams of being pro hockey players is possible. Adam last said that the Burns Lake area has great hockey talent and that they'd do anything to help out their careers. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Cale Maslin.
Coming up next, members rally as the BCGEU strike continues. The union representing striking BC Public Service workers says about 25,000 of its 34,000 members are now participating in job action across the province. The BCGEU says workers have again escalated job action by expanding pickets to another 18 liquor and cannabis retail stores, as well as 30 offices for natural resources and land use permits. The new escalation adds 2,600 workers to the picket lines. Members marched to the legislature in protest Monday. CTV's Shannon Patterson reports.
Striking BCGEU workers were joined by members of other unions in a march through downtown Victoria Monday afternoon that culminated in a noisy rally at the legislature.
Let's see if everyone in the legislature can hear us.
The labor show of force comes as the BC General Employees Union strike enters its 6th week.
And we're standing united with a clear voice. We want a fair deal now.
The union is pushing for an 8% wage increase over 2 years. The province has offered 5%.
We're looking for an agreement that is both fair to these important government workers, but also fair to taxpayers, and that is a really compelling concern for me.
On Monday, nearly 20,000 BCGEU members at 306 work sites walked the picket line, and the union is vowing to escalate job action this week unless the province tables a better offer.
Walking that line for now 6 weeks, that's not something anyone does frivolously or superficially. Absolutely, we expect better out of this government.
I respect the right for them to be taking the action that they're taking. These are very valued government workers, and we'd like to be back at the table with them. We've brought forward an offer that we feel is reasonable, and we would like to get back to negotiations.
With the province and BCGEU at a stalemate, another 23,000 government workers are poised to take job action. On Friday, talks broke down between the bargaining association representing community-based healthcare workers and the Health Employers Association of BC.
Over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be going to meet our members, to talk to them, to consult with them, and make preparations for a strike vote. This fight is about fairness. This fight is about dignity. But more than anything, this fight is about solidarity.
The unions are vowing to stand together against a province that insists it can't afford their demands.
And just in case this government, this cabinet doubts our resolve, we're here to win.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
Crime in Surrey has led to some charges and arrests, but that hasn't stopped the shooting. CTV's Martin McMahon reports.
After public pressure was really building for some action on this, now a series of charges have been approved against 7 men, with 6 of them having been arrested.
These investigations are extortion-related investigations, and they have led to the charges against these individuals.
This involves 3 separate investigations, 2 led by the Joint Force Operation and 1 by the Surrey Police Service.
So this is a step in the right direction, and we will keep ensuring that police have the resources they need through the BC Extortion Task Force and the work of their own municipalities to investigate these crimes.
It comes on the same day as this restaurant in South Surrey was shot up. It happened at about 2:20 a.m. on King George near 156th.
And first I thought it was a transformer that went off because it sounds similar, but and then about, 5-6 minutes later heard another one. And I figured, I thought it was just gangsters shooting at each other.
The restaurant is part of the Ustad G76 chain. Police are investigating this as a possible extortion case as well.
We are appealing to anyone who may have been in the area of the 2100 block, King George Boulevard, this morning, between the hours of 2 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. If you witnessed anyone or any suspicious vehicles, to please contact police.
The restaurant chain was targeted less than 2 weeks ago with a separate shooting at a Maple Ridge location. So ultimately a day with a lot of action on this extortion issue, but on a day when police were hoping to probably restore some public confidence with word of these charges. That overnight restaurant shooting shows just how much of a live issue this still is. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Surrey.
And more crime in Surrey as a shooting at a Surrey SkyTrain station yesterday ended in arrest. CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports.
Police say the gunman opened fire in 2 different locations right at the beginning of the Monday afternoon rush hour. A massive police presence then converged on the area to ensure that things did not go any further. Investigators say reports came in around 3:15 of a man firing shots near the Gateway SkyTrain station. No one was hurt and the suspect took off. Officers later found the man outside the Surrey Police Service District 1 Community Police Office, where more shots were allegedly fired. The area around King George Boulevard and 107 Avenue was shut down as heavily armed emergency response officers moved in. The suspect was arrested with help from police dogs and taken to hospital with unknown injuries. The police office was temporarily closed while an explosives team searched a bag left behind by the suspect, but nothing dangerous was found, while the gun could be seen laying on the ground hours after the incident. Police say the motive is not yet known.
That's certainly one of the top priority things that our detectives will be looking into the man's history, certainly looking into his mental health history and contacts with police.
Police are asking anyone who is in the area of the Gateway SkyTrain station or 107 Avenue and King George Boulevard who may have seen anything or who has video to contact them. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Surrey.
And now we'll take a look at your Northwest weather report. Tonight on the North Coast, expect conditions to be partly cloudy, becoming clear near midnight. Fog patches developing after midnight, a low of 7 degrees. Over the next few days on the North Coast, expect some pretty steady sun, but you're also going to get some wind. Daily highs 11 to 13 degrees, overnight lows between 1 and 8 degrees. Tonight in the Terrace Kitimat area, expect it to be partly cloudy, becoming clear near midnight. Fog patches developing after midnight, a low of +2. Over the next few days in the Terrace Kitimat area, expect more fall sunshine and a few clouds coming in on the weekend. Daily highs 8 to 14 degrees, overnight lows 2 to 9 degrees. Tonight in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, expect conditions to be clearing this evening. Winds from the northwest at 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40, becoming light near midnight, a low of -6. Over the next few days in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, expect clearing clouds and more sunshine, maybe a few clouds on the weekend. Daily highs 6 to 12 degrees, overnight lows between 1 and 3 degrees. Checking your highways around the Northwest now. On Highway 16, there's construction in Prince Rupert with a detour in effect, also bridge maintenance and construction work to watch out for. On Highway 37, there's maintenance going on. On Highway 37, a section with falling rocks, as well as bridge maintenance and bridge construction. On the Niska Highway, watch for mowing. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, big changes coming to the federal budget structure. U.S. President Donald Trump says Prime Minister Mark Carney will leave Washington happy, but won't say why. Trump made the comment during their Oval Office meeting today. He says Canada and the U.S. could renew the existing Continental Free Trade Agreement or just do separate deals without Mexico. Carney says Canada and the U.S. have some areas where they compete and need to come to an agreement that works. Here's CTV's Mike Lecouteur.
Prime Minister Mark Carney landed in the U.S. Capitol, hopeful to make progress on punishing tariffs on Canadian steel. And U.S. President Donald Trump is expecting it.
He's going to ask about tariffs because a lot of companies from Canada are moving into the United States,
And there's a new levy for the leaders to talk about. The president posted on social media that the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on light and medium duty trucks. Trump's former ambassador to Canada has this warning for the Prime Minister.
He has to come prepared, and he understands that, retaliatory tariffs are not the way. You certainly cannot try to compete with President Trump because you'll lose.
Before the new tariff announcement, Ontario Premier Doug Ford repeated his call for Canada and U.S. to work like allies instead of adversaries.
It seems like he's given more love to China and Russia than he is his closest ally in the entire world.
Expectations are high from opposition leader Pierre Poilievre, who is calling on Carney to keep his campaign promise to negotiate a win.
Will he also confirm that this deal that he's announcing, this win, will include elimination of tariffs on autos, softwood lumber, Buy America, and all other protectionism against Canada?
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
The Prime Minister's office confirmed Minister Tim Hodgson will be joining the delegation at the White House, an indication that energy and natural resources will be part of conversation.
Changes to budget structure are expected to benefit construction firms and those that rely on federal funding. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
In a break with long-standing practice, the finance minister says all future budgets will come down in the fall, enabling the government to get transfer payments out earlier in the fiscal year.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
The Liberals are also changing the budget framework to separate day-to-day spending from capital investments. Operational day-to-day costs include health and social transfers and government salaries, while capital investments encompass spending on major projects, housing, clean energy, and infrastructure.
When will the budget be balanced?
At the Finance Committee, the opposition slammed the minister for budget changes that don't add up.
Debt is still debt at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many columns you try to present in front of Canadians and try to trick them. Are you guys going to be cooking the books?
It's irresponsible for a member of parliament to use language like that. I will say that. It's irresponsible.
The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimated that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. Some economists say clearly showing how much the government is spending on capital investment is important.
what are we using debt finance for? Is it for, for capital investment, like, in terms that will be there for decades, or is it for current consumption?
Francois-Philippe Champagne says the Liberal government will balance the operational budget in 3 years while continuing to invest in major projects. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Turning to the markets now, Canada's main stock index finished in negative territory, weighed down by losses in the consumer's cyclical sector, while the U.S. markets also fell. The Canadian dollar gained under 1/10 cent. The price of gold rose by 28.60. Oil dropped 4 cents. Natural gas was up 15 cents. Aluminum gained 15.50. In Toronto, the TSX fell by 180 points. The Venture Index gained 1 point. In New York, the Nasdaq dropped 153 points and the Dow was down 92 points. Still ahead, a miraculous recovery with renewed purpose. We leave you tonight with the story of one man's recovery and discovery of a new purpose. CTV's Adam Swatsky signs off.
Before he was known as Barto Built, sharing his backcountry 4x4 adventures on YouTube, Bart Sutherland was known as a rock crawler.
And it's just like, it almost makes you speechless.
But it was after he was known as Dad that a commute to support his family turned into the collision that changed his life.
I was ejected from the vehicle.
Bart has no memory of his truck being mangled and his body being mutilated.
They prepared my wife and my family for what would be, very little quality of life.
Yet after waking from a coma after 2 weeks, Bart did recognize his baby boy.
The first real memory that I have is hugging him.
While his son provided the motivation to keep going, Bart says what the healthcare workers who saved his life provided is indescribable.
Is something that I will never be able to reciprocate.
More than 8 years after the accident, Bart's enduring physical challenges are manageable, but his mental health struggles are often overwhelming.
I lost my career. I lost my ability to pick up my kids. The loss of self is something I'm still chasing.
But then, an unprecedented snowfall over the holidays and a call to help healthcare workers on social media, which inspired this motorhead with a mullet to hit the road and be called a hero.
But not all heroes wear capes, and my response is, well, some grow them, I guess. And
Over 9 days, Bart volunteered to drive more than 100 healthcare staff to work, traveling 2,800 kilometers, spending $1,000 on gas, and coming to a priceless realization.
I finally recognized where my meaning and purpose is. The extreme stuff would get the blood going, but this got everything going. This made me feel whole.
He found that practicing kindness and giving back to the people who saved him is the 4x4 adventure of a lifetime. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Cobble Hill.
That's our news for now. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, for more local news, you can visit us at cftktv.com or check out our TikTok and YouTube pages. Thanks for watching.